Before the late 1980s, this copra shed here in Apia was bustling with activities. This shed alone produced thousands of tons of copra every year. Our copra industry earned Samoa the desperately needed foreign exchange, which kept our economy moving. More importantly, the copra industry provided employment for many of our youth in the villages. Copra was almost their only means for earning cash for school fees, clothing, and other essentials. But in only a few short years, this important industry all but collapsed.
In the early 1980s, a dynamic advertising campaign of advertisements was sponsored by soybean and corn oil producers overseas. These aggressive ads convinced millions of people worldwide that coconut oil was unhealthy to eat.
It's hard to believe that something as seemingly harmless as overseas advertisements could have a devastating effect on us here in Samoa.
By the mid-1980s, the misleading advertising by overseas vegetable oil producers caused the world's public to view coconut oil as being unhealthy, even dangerous. Copra prices dropped steadily every year due to lower and lower demand for coconut oil. When the prices became too low, production of copra virtually stopped.
Well, most farmers, especially the individual farmers, when they didn't have enough money since the price wasn't very good, then they turn around to some other sources for income, and they just left the coconut plantations unattended to.
The loss of income to our villages was devastating. Many of our young people were forced to look for work in Apia and even overseas.
The situation could have spelled the end to our coconut oil industry, except for one very important thing. The advertising just wasn't true.
The main thrust of the advertising campaign was to say that the use of coconut oil and other saturated fats raises blood cholesterol levels and can lead to heart disease. The advertising completely ignored published research that showed that with coconut oil, just the opposite was true. Research showed that coconut oil is digested and used by the body before it can become body fat.
I think that all of the saturated oils were wrongly criticized, but I think that coconut oil took the brunt of the criticism back into actually the 1950s and the 1960s, primarily in the United States, where some of the vegetable oils that were the highly polyunsaturated vegetable oils were being pushed, and when the markets were not coming as fast as the companies wanted them to, and when there was some criticism of some of the products, they developed a health issue which basically said, saturated fats aren't any good and polyunsaturated fats are good. It turns out that the polyunsaturates have some problems, and that the saturates, because of their stability, are good.
Research also outlined the differences in nutritional value between coconut oil derived from copra, which has to be refined, bleached and deodorized, and the natural coconut oil made from the fresh coconut. Because copra is heated and dried unhygienically at high temperature, it becomes rancid and its natural properties are lost in refining process used to resurrect the oil. Fresh coconut oil, however, has been found to be extremely high in nutrition and purity. Because of its natural properties, coconut oil from the fresh coconut has actually been shown to help prevent heart disease better than most vegetable oils. According to researchers, fresh coconut oil is also less likely to cause obesity than other vegetable oils. That's because the body easily converts coconut oil into energy rather than storing the unused calories as body fat. Moreover, most other vegetable oils are highly processed and often contain trans or false fats, which are very bad for you. Another fact that researchers emphasized was that 48% of fresh coconut oil is made of lauric acid, which is one of the key ingredients in mother's milk. This natural antiviral ingredient has been proven to actually protect the body from many sicknesses. Throughout our long history, we Samoans have always used fresh coconut oil in the preparation of our local foods. Our luau, oka and suaia are now recognized as being much healthier than imported processed foods. In fact, since the introduction of foreign processed foods and highly processed vegetable oils, such as meat drippings and lard, the incidence of diet-related diseases in Samoa has skyrocketed. High blood pressure, diabetes and heart disease, all heavily influenced by diet, now represent the leading causes of death in Samoa. But people who live on more traditional islands like Tokelau, who still rely on coconut oil for their cooking, have an exceptionally low rate of heart disease.
Diet-related diseases has been on the increase the last 10 to 20 years because of a change in people's lifestyle, particularly change in food, in the diet, change from the traditional diet to a more Western diet.
Traditionally, fresh coconut oil has also been used on our skin, and it has now been clinically proven to make skin soft, moist, and healthy. Cosmetics manufacturers have recognized this fact and are now using coconut oil in many different beauty products, from soaps and creams to shampoo and hair oils. But it is only natural coconut oil, not the refined and bleached hydrogenated oil from copra, which should be used on the skin. Oil from copra has had many of its natural properties removed by the refining.
It has taken overseas researchers and scientists years of clinical studies and fieldwork to recognize what we Samoans have always known, that coconut oil is naturally good for us.
Today, we stand on the threshold of a rebirth of our coconut oil industry. This rebirth is even more exciting due to the discovery of a revolutionary new technology to extract pure virgin oil from coconuts. This is the new technology that was developed for the processing of coconut oil. Because of its simplicity, this new process will quickly revolutionize the coconut oil industry here in Samoa. This new technique is called the Direct Micro-Expelling Technology, or DME.
And it always seemed to me very curious as to why the coconut farmers were amongst the poorest in the world. And I realized that it had a lot to do with the product that they were producing. The coconut oil is the most versatile of all the vegetable oils. As a cosmetic, as an ingredient for soap, you can make detergents from it, as a cooking oil. It just has so many uses, but they could not gain access to their own oil. So that's where I started.
The oil produced through DME is of much higher quality than coconut oil from copra. It also does not require any further processing after it is extracted. With copra oil, it usually takes weeks between the time the copra is made and when it is crushed in the copra mill. DME oil is ready within 1.5 hours of opening the nut. DME coconut oil has an extremely low free fatty acid content at production, which is far better than the standard set for edible oils on the world market. If free fatty acid levels are too high, they can increase a person's chances of contracting diet-related diseases. What this means is that for those concerned about their health, DME coconut oil is one of the healthiest oils in the world.
The quality is surprisingly good, considering that the product is produced in rural areas, a long way from any sort of hygienic control. I think it's a magnificent technology. When you think about it, this is a technology which is relatively simple, low maintenance, and it can be transferred to the villages.
The amazing part of this new technology is that the entire production process can be done in a village with no further processing. The direct micro-expelling technology does not require hard manual labor either, so every member of the village can be involved in production. The DME process will also benefit the cosmetic industry. The high quality of DME coconut oil is ideal for use in soaps, creams and other cosmetic items. This opens yet another market for Samoan coconut oil.
Well, the DME oil, or what I like to call cold pressed coconut oil, is a very high grade oil. It is a much better quality than copper oil.
Not all of our coconut oil needs to be exported as a raw product either. The conditions are perfect for the development of small industries here in Samoa that can produce coconut soaps and oils for use on the skin. The Samoa Women in Business Foundation has set up DME processing centers in a number of Samoan villages already. Although the market is new, the potential is exciting for these entrepreneurs.
The direct micro-expelling technology is so simple. It's the perfect income-generating activity for the rural villages. The oil that's produced is of such good quality that the villagers receive maximum possible benefits for their product. There's also the opportunity for value-added products such as cosmetics, cooking oil and other foods.
Already, a number of local people have embraced this new technology and are benefiting from the higher incomes they are now getting compared to copra.
Well, when I took the oil and the soap to Europe last year for the expo, it was really good. I sold out very fast, and people came asking for it after they experimented.
The further development of this new coconut oil industry will benefit Samoa in a number of ways. Firstly, it will provide employment for the youth in our villages. This will in turn give them more reason to remain in the villages, lessening the problems that towns such as Apia are experiencing. Secondly, the DME coconut oil can be sold overseas, earning Samoa valuable foreign exchange and assisting in the development of the economy. And just as importantly, the local use of coconut oil will help reduce our dependence on inferior imported vegetable oils and meat drippings. This will in turn help reduce the number of diet-related diseases so prevalent now in our country.
The development of the DME technology for producing coconut oil offers many great opportunities for our people here in Samoa. It's our turn to tell the world what we Samoans have always known, that our coconut oil is just naturally good.